Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thanks for joining us today. It is the 10th of September, and we are live here in the studio every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. for the Minnesota Real Estate Show. The Minnesota Real Estate Show is hosted by Scott Wollmering of the We team and the Minnesota Real Estate team with RE/MAX Advantage Plus. Of course, our friend Mr. Mike Overson with Luminate Home Loans. And my name is Ryan O'Neill with the Minnesota Real Estate team and RE/MAX Advantage Plus. Appreciate you joining us here today, whether you're catching us on any of the different social media platforms. This is a fun show. It's an interactive show, and we always welcome any of your questions, comments, thoughts. We do in the first segment always like to give a market update of what's going on here in the Twin Cities from a real estate and a mortgage standpoint. And then after our market update, in the second segment, we're going to be diving deep with the other two folks you can see in studio here, Mr. Adam Hartung, who is with Midwest Money Management, and also Cam Schaefer with Midwest Money Management. So thank you both. Thank you guys for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We turned our company into a tongue twister this morning.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is actually kind of hard sometimes.
Midwest Money Management. Yeah,
I wanted to go with 3M, but that was already
so thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for folks for joining us. We're going to be going live on here in just a short time. But questions, comments, thoughts. We've got a lot to kind of unpack and cover today. Especially happy again, Adam and Cam with their financial knowledge. Just taking a look at kind of the current world situation. Interest rates, stock markets, real estate values, kind of a good overall analysis as well. So here we go. We're going live on air right now. Twin Cities News Talk, AM 1130. Thanks for joining us. Good morning. Welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show, and thanks for joining us here on Saturday, September 10th, and live here at Twin Cities News Talk, AM 1130, every Saturday morning for the Minnesota Real Estate Show, hosted by Scott Wollmering of the We team and the Minnesota Real Estate team with RE/MAX Advantage Plus, Mike Overson, Luminate Home Loans, and I'm Ryan O'Neill with the Minnesota Real Estate team, RE/MAX Advantage Plus. Thanks for being here today. It is a live show. It is an interactive show, and we welcome your questions, comments, thoughts throughout the discussion. 612-294-6949 is how you can reach us by phone or by text. 612-294-6949 anytime throughout the show. Or again, if you're catching us on any of the social media platforms, don't hesitate just to comment in. Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you might be. Thank you for joining us. We do appreciate it. It is a fun show. It's a lot of information. And Mike, good morning to you there, bud. Thanks for joining us as always.
Good morning to you, Ryan.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you. It's always a good Saturday here when you can come in and talk some mortgage and real estate and all that fun stuff.
A lot going on. A lot going on in the mortgage world, in the real estate world. Also in studio today, we have Adam Hartung, Midwest Money Management, joining us along with Cam Schaefer. Welcome to you both as well.
Yeah,
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it'll be a fun show. It's going to be so much to cover. But we're going to dive in here first for the real estate numbers. Normally we touch the mortgage numbers first, but let's talk a little bit from a real estate perspective. What are we seeing in the Twin Cities market? Mike, some numbers to share. So new listings or new homes for sale in the Twin Cities are down 26%. So 26% year over year, less new properties came onto the market this past week. And then pending sales or accepted purchase agreements are down very significantly, almost 33% less accepted purchase agreements here this past week. And interestingly, the inventory grew just very slightly. So there was a 2.7% increase in inventory 8,868 homes for sale. Mike, the other number, maybe you can comment on this. There was a Wells Fargo came out with what they call the Housing Opportunity Index, and they commented and said that only 43% of new and existing homes sold in the second quarter here of 2022 were considered affordable to the family earning a U.S. median income of $90,000 based on standard mortgage rates. That's a steep decline from the first quarter where it was 57%. So 57% of homes were considered affordable the first quarter. Now here in the second quarter, Mike, 42%. Thoughts? Help us unpack that.
I mean, it makes sense if you have interest rates going up and home prices going up. It would make sense that number would get less. If you look at the affordability index, which is another measure of affordability of housing, that right now I believe is 101. So what that means, if the affordability index is at 100, that means the average income for a particular market is exactly is what needs to be made in order to afford the average house in that market. So that particular index would say that we're perfectly evenly balanced, right? So the income that you need to make to afford the average house here, that's what's being made. That number was as high as 200 back when interest rates were lower, down in the 2.75 to 3 range. So yeah, it's just interesting on how you look at it, because you can spin some numbers either way, right? Depending on how you want to structure your commentary on it. But it just makes sense. If interest rates go up or if home prices go up, that's going to make things less affordable.
Well, I just want to thank Wells Fargo personally for creating that index, because what we really need is more indexes.
Right. Yes.
That was my first
To
thought.
confirm the obvious.
Just that we should have more indexes.
We do need more indexes, and we like sharing just lots of indexes here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show, whether people want them or not. It is what's interesting, and again, it's being felt really across the market, is so 33% less activity pending sales. I mean, that's significant. 1/3 less accepted purchase agreements. Fellow realtors who may be watching, fellow brokers, everyone's obviously feeling it in the market. And Mike, a big part of it is, again, the interest rate increase.
Ryan, obviously I'm not on the show with you every week, and I do try and listen when I can, but I haven't caught the last couple of week shows. Is this a big change from what it's been a couple of weeks ago? Is it pretty dramatic?
Yeah, I mean, it is. Pending sales have been dropping still, in the 20s range. This is the largest amount in some time. I would say maybe 4 or 5 weeks. So it's pretty significant. Mike, and Mike too, from a mortgage standpoint, are you feeling that as well?
Yeah, I mean, you feel it. Like the mortgage guys always get the first feel of it because it's really driven by applications. How many applications are coming in for purchases? And when we see that number drop, we know that down the road here, 30 to 60 days down the road, obviously closings are going to drop too, because you got less applications coming in. So we feel it on our end for sure. I've been seeing that lately over the last couple of weeks. I was doing 15, 17 applications a week there for a while. This last week was like at 8. 2 weeks ago was at 11. So it's not just shutting off, but you can feel the little pullback here coming up.
No, but from what you said, though, again, thinking about this as kind of a leading indicator,
right?
We would expect that things are going to be worse 60 days from now, not better, just on what you just said.
Yeah, less closings and things like that. Now, you got to remember, too, this time of year, right around school, that always happens.
Sure.
Right? So you got to take that in consideration of how many people are actually actively out there looking when they got to get school schedules and bus rides and activities are starting up. So I just expect that around this time.
Sure.
I expect the normal fall deal too, where coming out of school, the school start, where you're 2 to 3 weeks after that, it ramps up, because everyone who didn't get into a house during the summertime now has about 2 months to get in before the snow flies. And so November is typically one of our busiest closings months.
Yeah.
So
here's a very deep analysis, especially Cam. This one is kind of a Ryan analysis.
Perfect.
But the last 2 years of the housing market in the Twin Cities has been like your teenage son or daughter that goes to Holiday and picks up a Red Bull and has one Red Bull and actually picks up a couple Red Bulls and decides to just slam both Red Bulls. And so buyers, agents, sellers, title people, mortgage people, we have been on like frothed Red Bull for the past two years. And now that things are starting to slow down, the world is not ending. I know a lot of agents and some people are freaking out by it, but it's becoming a little more normal. We are coming off the Red Bull, Cam.
Perfect. Great analogy.
We're coming off the Red.
Feeling
I mean,
that in the
seriously.
sugar crash.
I mean, it's just like we can't keep up at that pace. You know what I mean? Everybody was, 30 offers on properties and interest rates historically low. And so it's like it's becoming a little more normal, I guess. It's so down 33%. You have to remember that was a frothed up Red Bull market, Mike.
Yeah. With the amount of listings that we have here too, 10,000 listings. I can't remember the last time we hit 10,000 listings, but that's not that many listings.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like we got all the way down to 4,700 listings. I've been doing this for 18 years. I've never seen so few listings on the market in the Twin Cities area. So that was just crazy to me that number got that low. But I'm hoping we get back to 10,000 listings because that's going to be more of a normal market. And actually, a normal market, you would say, Ryan, would be how many listings?
Like 18, 20,000 homes for sale.
So if we hit 10,000 listings, we're still at half of what like a normal market would be for the Twin Cities area.
And what'd you say we are at right now?
Like 9,000.
Okay, so we're getting close to that 10,000.
Not much though. It's been that way for a long time.
Yeah.
Like the last couple of years, it just hasn't gone up. And again, we can talk about that. Why are more people not selling? A variety of different reasons on that. Mike, before the break, interest rates?
Interest rates are funny. So I was looking at the chart here. We're going to see ups and downs. So I'm looking at the chart right now. If I look at June 21st, rates were about 6 1/8, maybe 6 1/4 there. Fast forward then to August 1st, they're all the way down to 5.125. And then now today they're back up. They're about 6 to 6.125.
Sounds just like the stock market.
So you're getting the wave. Anytime you have financial markets that are just uncertain about things, and we got inflation still out there, what are the Feds going to do to combat that? You're going to see the ups and the downs. So I expect more of that coming up here, where literally within a month's time frame, it could be a full percent lower, it could be a full percent higher. But in general, if I look over the next 6 to 12 months, I think we just see a slow trickle down effect. To where I possibly think we're going to see 30-year fixed rate start with the 4 at some point in 2023.
Wow. Hey, guess what? Guess what's happening in the Twin Cities the months from September 10th to October 2nd? Mike?
Parade of Homes.
Yeah, the Parade of
Nice.
Homes.
Good.
Get out and visit our friends, all of our fellow agents, brokers, and builders, remodelers. Parade of Homes is going on. It's a great opportunity to see what's out there. Just to get ideas, or obviously if you're looking to buy or sell too. So we're up against our first break here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. You can join us 612-294-6949. by phone or text if you got questions, comments, thoughts at any point. We'll be back after the break. Well, thanks for joining us today. Appreciate it. Excited to have Cam and Adam in studio. What do you think, Cam? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm happy to be here. Great way to spend a Saturday morning.
You've been working with Midwest Money Management for 3 years.
Yeah, the past 3 years. Yep.
Tell me kind of your day-to-day role.
My day-to-day role is kind of helping out Adam and Corey, our 2 senior advisors, and kind of just working with the rest of our team, taking phone calls, processing requests that clients might have, trying to answer some of their questions when they call in and that kind of thing. So just day-to-day, like a lot of client activity and trying to do our best to help them out.
Yeah, that's cool. How did you guys meet?
My dad is actually a longtime client of Adam's. He's been with Adam for probably the last 20-ish years.
Yeah.
Huh.
And I was fresh out of college looking for a job. My dad was like, "Oh, you got to meet Adam Hartung.
Fun.
Such a great guy." And I was like, "All right, I'll send in an application."
Yeah, and we were interviewing, and we had hired a couple staffing companies, so we interviewed several people. But I also sent out an email to all of our clients just saying, "Hey, you are our most valuable resource, and so I'm really counting on you to help us try and find a good person." And so we interviewed several people, and Cam was our first choice by far. And boy, that was maybe the single best decision of my career. So.
Yeah, there we go.
That's very
I agree.
sweet.
I agree. Hey, how did you meet her dad?
One of the
at-
mortgage seminars.
Yes, back when I used to do community education classes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Good morning, Min. Thanks for joining us, Troy. Others appreciate it. Again, questions, comments as they're coming through, don't hesitate to pop up. We did have it looks like a question come in. Let's see here. Tim had asked again about FHA mortgages. Are you seeing more getting accepted? Mike, you seeing
Yeah.
more FHAs?
Yep, absolutely. So
Okay.
I just had two closes last week on FHAs, and I know I got a couple more in process right now. So absolutely, if you're an FHA buyer or a VA buyer, now's a great time to get in the game.
And is the question behind that really that the FHA was hard for a while because there were so many offers that it was hard to get an FHA? I mean, I assume that's kind of the
Yeah.
point of why they're bringing
Kind
it up.
of sometimes different loan types get stigmas wrongly for being more difficult and so FHA, there's an additional requirements to be sure that the property will appraise. And so it may come back, there may be certain things saying you need to do this, versus a conventional mortgage that may not have that. As well, again, conventional in many cases can be more down. Not always, but conventional, oftentimes you see a 10%, 15, 20% down with that. So we're back. We're going back live on air, Twin Cities News Talk. Hey, welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Hope everybody was able to get out to the great Minnesota get-together, the state fair. I took my dear mother, mom, and my wife Kathy. We had a very fun time. It was busy. It was very busy, but it was great. We went to a lot of the different exhibits. My mom was a lifelong educator, lifelong teacher, and so we went to the education building and talked to a variety of the education folks, and it was a good time.
I love your mom.
Yeah.
She's a good woman.
I keep saying mom's got to run for mayor in New Prague. Mom is, mom and dad, they've been in New Prague for, 50 years, but mom is just, she's very active in the community, very active, very caring. So thank you for that. Thank you, Adam. And speaking of Adam, it's that time we're going to transition. Adam Hartung is a certified financial planner, professional, and an accredited investment fiduciary. He's the president and founder of Midwest Money Management, located at 17316 Kenyon Avenue in Lakeville, Minnesota. Securities offered through Parkland Securities LLC, member FINRA and SIPC. Fee-based investment advisory services are offered through Sigma Planning Corporation, a registered investment advisor. Midwest Money Management is independent of Parkland Securities LLC and SPC. Good morning to you, Adam.
Hey, good morning. First of all, I want to apologize to those watching on Facebook Live because I'm sure I look better on radio today. I can honestly say that I am happy to be here. And when I went to bed at 4 a.m., I wasn't sure that was going to be the case.
Oh, no, Adam.
Well, no. It was my wife and I went to a birthday party of a very close friend last night. Had a great time. I mean, it was literally the most fun I've had and I can't remember how long. So
Fun.
it was a short night, but I think you know me. I hate mornings, Ryan, and I think my brain still thinks it's the middle of the night because I woke up and I'm awesome.
Maybe it was the two Red Bulls. Did you hit the?
Yeah. I did not have two Red Bulls, but it sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
We have a special friend and special guest in studio with us as well, Cam Schaefer, who also is at Midwest Money Management, has been there now 3 years, does an awesome job. Cam, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Ryan. I appreciate it.
Adam just gave you a huge compliment during this social media stream, asked how you guys had met, and Cam's father is a longtime client of Midwest Money Management, and Adam said that hiring Cam was probably the best business decision of his career. So what a nice compliment.
It's been really, really great working with Adam and Corey and the rest of the team over the last couple of years. It's been a perfect fit.
Yeah, that's super cool. Adam, Cam, talk about what's going on in your world. A lot of uncertainty, a lot of unrest, rising interest rates, what's going on with real estate values, stock markets crashing, bond markets crashing. What do we make of it all?
Yeah, well, it has been a difficult year for really all investments, but especially traditional investment strategies have really gotten hit hard and fared the worst. Connor, who's another one of the young advisors on our team, forwarded an email to me earlier this week from Yahoo Finance. And the traditional 60-40 portfolio, which is 60% stock, 40% bonds, and this is one of the most widely kind of recommended portfolio out there for kind of your moderate to moderately conservative investor. And it is year to date as of the end of August down 19.4%, which is on track for its worst year since 1936. So this idea of that traditional portfolio, and again, longtime radio listeners know that I've been saying for years that this moment was coming. And that is that once we got into that rising interest rate environment, bonds were not going to be this safe haven, and this idea that you could offset stock risk by simply adding bonds to the portfolio was no longer going to work, at least for a period of time. Now, eventually this will come back and work again, but I think it's going to be a little while. Long-term treasury bonds are down over 20% for the year. And again, these are government-issued bonds. People don't think that they can be down 20%, but they are, they can, and they are. And
Why is that? And who would invest in long-term government bonds?
Well,
help me understand.
a lot of people invest in long-term government bonds because traditionally speaking, and again, there's exceptions to this, but first of all, a bond issued by the U.S. government is considered amongst the safest investment that you can possibly make because, of course, it's backed by the taxing authority of the U.S. government. So, unless the government goes defunct, U.S. bonds are a very safe investment. And the reason why you would do long maturity, historically speaking, is that just like a CD or anything else, the longer the maturity, the higher the interest rate. So typically, longer maturity bonds are going to offer you the best interest rate with kind of the safest principal. But the problem is that principal is only guaranteed and only safe if you hold it for the full maturity. So if you buy it and you hold it for 20 years, if the federal government is still around in 20 years, then you're guaranteed to get your money back. But in the short term, as interest rates change, when interest rates go up, the value of bonds falls. And if you think about it, it's like this. If I buy a bond that was issued by the government at the beginning of the year at, say, 1.5%, and now I decide for whatever reason I don't want to hold that 1.5 interest bond anymore, so I want to sell it to Mike. Well, the U.S. government now today is issuing those same bonds at, say, 3.3%. Why is he going to buy my 1.5% interest rate bond when he can buy one directly from the government for 3.3%? So if I need to sell mine, if I want to sell mine to Mike, I've got to sell it at a discount. And the more interest rates rise, the more the discount of those existing bonds. And that 3.3% bond, if next year bonds are at 4.4, it's going to be the exact same situation again. So people forget, and it's so hard to really understand because we've been in a falling interest rate environment literally since 1981. And so there are just very few people very few adults or working in the environment today that have really ever gone through a rising interest rate environment. And I do think it's going to take some adjustment.
Yeah, they were talking about just seeing, with the Federal Reserve and the comments that come out and wanting to continue to battle inflation, how inflation is hurting everyone. Thoughts on that? Comments on that?
Yeah, well, so it is correct that the Fed needs to stick to their guns and needs to continue to fight inflation. The problem is that they're in a no-win situation right now, and I honestly don't see how they are going to be able to effectively fight inflation. The idea that just raising interest rates will bring down inflation is I think misleading. I think it's a common misunderstanding, and it's not that raising interest rates will slow down demand. Like we're seeing that in the housing market right now. And so you see prices come down and you say, okay, well, this works. This is going to fight inflation. But over the long term, the reality is we printed 40% of the dollars in circulation in the last 2 years. And until we get some of those dollars out of circulation, they can slow down demand and they can maybe put off inflation. But eventually equilibrium is that prices need to rise by an aggregate 40% to balance out with the number of dollars in the economy, unless they find a way to really more aggressively shrink the balance sheet and pull those dollars back out of the economy. And that's a very tricky thing to do.
What does all of this mean for sort of the casual follower of investments and kind of the economy as a whole?
Again, I don't want to be doomsday-ish, and I don't want to be overly negative, but I do think it means that you need to be cautious. I mean, and from an investment perspective, and this is clearly self-serving on my part, but our primary investment strategies are not traditional investment strategies, and they always have been tactical investment strategies, which have that ability to be very nimble, make changes quickly, and adjust to the environment in real time. Our biggest strategy is a tactical stock model that can be 100% invested in stock, or it can be 100% in cash. And earlier this year, we were 100% in cash when the market was falling. We then moved back to a fully invested position in July when the markets were rising again. And we're now moving back to a more defensive position again as the markets have been falling. And so, like I said, it is self-serving for sure, but I really believe that in this market environment, taking a more active, nimble approach and having somebody that's willing to kind of adjust on the fly in real time is really the only rational thing to do, because you can't look ahead 3-5 years and say, okay, well, this investment is going to be fine. I mean, there's nothing right now from a valuation standpoint or from an interest rate environment where you can say this is a safe bet, even if you're willing to hold it for the next 5 years.
Yeah, interesting stuff, Mike.
Yeah. So I was. What's your prediction on mortgage interest rates? So we say interest rates a lot. There's lots of interest rates out there, right? Let's just hone in specifically on mortgage interest rates. What's your gut telling you?
Yeah. So that's a hard one. I mean, and it depends on the time frame that you're looking at as well, right? Because I think in the short term, we know that short-term rates are going to continue to go up. The Fed has all but said they're going to continue to raise the short-term rates. Now, again, that won't immediately translate into long-term rates, I don't think. At the same time, I do think if they don't come out and say that we're officially in a recession when this is all said and done, I do think we are headed into a recession at some point in the next, call it 9 to 12 months. And during a recession, if the Fed has been able to raise interest rates enough, there's a real chance that the market that short-term rates will come back down, or long-term rates and short-term rates will come back down at some point in the next 12 months. Yeah. Now, I think the longer-term trend is going to still be a gradual rising of long-term interest rates. Like I think the lows are done. That's what I think. I don't know that for sure, but that's what I think. But I do think there will be another dip down again when we kind of officially accept that we're in recession, or when that happens.
Yeah. Adam Hartung, Cam Schaefer with Midwest Money Management, an awesome partner of the Minnesota Real Estate Show, the Minnesota Real Estate team. Best way for people to reach you?
Yeah, if they're interested in sitting down talking with our team or just have questions, they can find us online at mnrealestateshow.com or at midwestmoneymanagement.com. They can also call our office directly at 651-204-3000. Again, that's 651-204-3000. And again, we don't have the answers to everything, but we are definitely here to help and give you an honest opinion of where we think things are at.
Yeah, we're going to continue the discussion with our friends Adam Hartung, Cam Schaefer after the break here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Before we do break, though, I did want to touch on a featured listing. David Meyer has won 2651 Oliver Avenue North for $230,000. And David says it's a solid income-producing duplex. It does need some TLC. It's got vinyl siding. The roof is in great shape. It's a 2-bed, 1-bath in each unit. It's got hardwood floors. The windows have been replaced. Furnaces are from 2013, 2014. Both units are rented on month-to-month leases. The upper unit receives $1,200 a month, and the main floor unit receives $1,190 a month. And there's additional unfinished space in the attic and basement that will increase rents too. Very nice property. Again, a duplex, 2651 Oliver Avenue North for $230,000, listed with David Meyer. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. I had a question come in during the break. Let's see here. A question just said, Adam and Cam, what about just investing in mutual funds in this market?
Well, so mutual funds are are not really an asset class. Mutual funds, you can invest in basically any type of investment inside of a mutual fund. And really all it means, the most common type of mutual fund is a stock mutual fund. So I'm just going to use that as an example. All that means is instead of going out and buying individual stocks, you buy a pool of stocks where you've got either an index fund, which means that there's really no portfolio manager. There's just somebody that's buying all of the stocks that represent the index that you're following. Or you can have active management where there's a portfolio manager kind of deciding which stocks you want to own in that portfolio. So I mean, everything I said about investments kind of holds true, whether you're talking about buying the individual asset classes or whether you're talking about
It's
buying
risky,
mutual funds.
basically. It's risky because
still-
no one's
yeah.
managing the funds like you're managing it. So if the market goes down 30%, you just ride it and hope for good things.
That is right. I mean, for the most part, again, there are exceptions to everything. I mean, there
Right.
are theoretically mutual fund strategies that are designed to be tactical. And so, again, a person could look for a strategy that has the ability to go cash. But if you went on Morningstar and looked for a tactical stock mutual fund and actually look at the prospectus, tactical by Morningstar means that they might be able to move up to 15% in cash. So instead of owning 100% stocks that goes down 50%, you might only own 85% stocks that goes down 50%. And again, in my mind, that's not really being tactical. I mean, that's making such a minor difference in that type of environment that we take a much more active approach to that.
Yeah. Cam, I'm sure from your perspective too, thoughts to add on that? Thoughts to share on any of the topics we've kind of been hitting?
You know, the one thing that really comes to mind is obviously Adam is one of my mentors, and something that I've heard him say so many times over the last couple of years is the only thing that goes up in a down market is correlation. And so we're really starting to see that diversification isn't really the answer, or it's not the entire answer. And so kind of this idea of active management really playing a part in having a well-balanced portfolio is definitely something that we're seeing beneficial to our clients.
Very cool. Yeah, very cool. Again, talking with Adam and Cam with Midwest Money Management. From a real estate investing standpoint, obviously we do real estate investment property seminars every month. We do first-time homebuyer seminars. If you go to mnrealestateteam.com or mnrealestateshow.com, you can see our free seminars that we put on with Mike and Luminate. We are still seeing people purchase investment property in this market. The rental market is super strong. A lot of people looking to rent. A lot of rents have risen, obviously significantly. Mike, I know you've been doing some investment property loans too.
Yeah, they're still out there. And the great thing about investment properties is that the interest rate is less important. Like a lot of stuff is less important. It's really just, what are my numbers? If I'm paying a 10% interest rate and you can get the rents to cover it and everything works, it still works. That's fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was thinking when you were talking about that duplex that's for sale, and again, as we all know, duplexes are hard to come by these days. And I think back, Brian, you know this. The first property that I ever bought was a duplex. And I was a young man living in half and renting out the other half. And I still say that is the single best investment that I ever made, because it set me up for all the other investments that I've done since then. I mean, it really set up the foundation of all the other things that I've been able to do. So, you know, from a pure return standpoint, maybe it wasn't the highest investment that I've ever made, but it was the one that really put me in the position that I am in today.
Yeah, it is. And again, obviously, when you're an investor, real estate investor, you're actively you're a little more active with it. You could work with a company like Scott Fisick and Rental Management Guys who do an awesome job managing the property for you. I think Scott charges 8% of the rents. We're back. Oops. All right, we're going live back on air here. I got to pay attention. Here we go. Welcome back to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. That was kind of soft and smooth, Mike. What was that? That was very nice. Very nice. Mike, how many times did you go to the state fair? 5 times. You've had enough of the state fair, I bet, right? You're good. Mike says, I'm good. Enough of the state fair. As we dive back into the Minnesota Real Estate Show, second half of the show. Appreciate you joining us. Got another featured listing. This one's in Maplewood. Kurt Carlson has this one listed. It's a brand new listing for $275,000, 2671 Midvale Place. It is a 3-bed, 1-bath home. And Kurt said it's a rare opportunity to own over a half acre right in the heart of the city of Maplewood. It's got a very peaceful, huge backyard space. It's 1-level living. It's very convenient, close to everything. And Kurt says the home also offers in-floor radiant heat, 3 bedrooms and an office off the kitchen, and a partial basement with excellent storage. New roof this year too. $275,000, 2671 Midvale Place East. Mike, not to put you on the spot, but again, talking about investing in real estate or purchasing, if I'm a first-time home buyer or if I'm a buyer thinking about that property, range of what we're looking at for a mortgage payment on $275,000. Let's just say I'm a FHA buyer and I'm putting 3.5% down, and I would like to move from renting to purchasing. I've been renting for a long time. What am I looking at ballpark-wise for a mortgage payment?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm actually just throwing in some numbers right now. So your principal and interest on a 275 loan would be 1518.
Okay.
If you do 3.5% down, you have mortgage insurance, also known as PMI, to pay. That's $194. So 1518 plus 194, you're at 1712. So now add your taxes and insurance on top of that. Say insurance is 150. And let's say taxes are 200. So you're looking at about 2062.
2062. What do you guys think about that?
Cam, you have a better idea of the rental market than I do.
Yeah, what do you
You're
think?
a renter moving to that property. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that's pretty on par with like what we're seeing renting right now. I personally rent an apartment. I have like a 1-bedroom apartment in Lakeville, Minnesota, and it's about that much. I mean, obviously you're not paying the taxes and the insurance out of pocket, but the base rent itself is about $1,500. And I did my due diligence really across the cities, trying to figure out what would be an affordable place to live that like met what I was wanting. And you really can't find anything cheaper in the rental market right now either.
Yeah. So that's the kind of a good example of maybe the question or what people think about. And obviously as a buyer, you've got to come up with those funds. Mike, if I'm an FHA buyer, do those funds have to be from my checking account?
No, you can actually get gift funds from family. So you can use gift funds for down payment. You can also do a 401k loan. So we see a lot of people doing that where they don't have the liquid cash and checking or savings, but they have some 401k funds built up, so they can do a loan against their 401k, which does not incur any sort of tax complications or a taxable event there, and use that money for the down payment on the house.
The one caution I would just let everybody know with 401k loans, and again, not saying that they shouldn't do it or nobody should ever take out a 401k loan for something like this, but you do need to know that if you terminate employment with a 401k loan, whether it's voluntarily terminate employment or your employer fires you, lose your job, you do have only 60 days to pay back that loan, or it becomes a taxable distribution, and that you can get caught on that. So it is just something for people to know about 401k loans.
Yeah. The other thing too, we're seeing a lot more with, again, this property we just described with our veterans. For all of our outstanding veterans, thank you for your service. The VA loan, probably the best loan out there, 0 down, Mike, 0 down. So for our veteran that's looking to buy that, a 0 down deal.
I think they should take all the down payment assistance programs and scrap them
Why?
and model a 0 down loan, just like the VA loan has it. If you take all the loan types that are out there, conventional FHA, VA, USDA, jumbos, which one do you think has the lowest default rate on them?
VA.
VA loans do. And VA loans is one of the only VA and the USDA loan are the only two that have 0 down payment requirements. So how is the 0 down payment requirement not defaulting as much as a 3% down conventional or a 3.5% down FHA, right? It's the way they have the rules set up in their underwriting. So if it works, we should model that, and we should use what works out there, in my opinion. You know, so instead of down payment assistance where, hey, you're going to do an FHA loan, but we'll give you money towards the down payment, how about do a zero down payment so there's no down payment requirement, and then just have the underwriting requirements matched around VA because it's obviously working.
So what's the difference though? What are the additional requirements?
So they have this residual income calculation that no other loans really have. And so even though your debt to income ratio, the traditional debt to income ratio calculation that you have on conventional and FHAs and stuff, they still have that. But they have this residual income because they know, hey, just because your debt to income ratio is underneath 50 or 55, whatever they're going to allow for that particular situation, you still have gas and food and clothes. So we want to make sure that the other 50% that you're not using towards your mortgage payment and then your auto payments and things like that still covers these things over here. And if we feel like it doesn't cover these things over here, we're going to limit you on how much you can borrow and what your monthly mortgage payment is going to be to make sure you have enough money for these other things over here.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And again, it works because it has one of the lowest default rates out there.
Yeah.
So I love the VA loans. I think they're the best program out there. If you qualify, absolutely. VA loan all the way.
I saw a video this week, a fellow RE/MAX agent, RE/MAX Results, a gentleman by the name of Wade Hansen. Wade does a great job, does a lot of luxury property. And I thought it was interesting. He made a comment, what he's seeing in, again, kind of a transition, I know, random thought, but what he's seeing with luxury real estate, the big change, and we've seen this too, as he talked about it, it made total sense, is pools and outdoor spaces are now all the rage. People love having a pool. People love having outdoor spaces, and it's actually adding value to your home. For the 20 years I've been an agent, you had a pool, that was like the kiss of death. I mean, you spend 50 grand or 75 or 100, you put a pool in, you're lucky to get money out of that. Because, but now people are loving pools, and I don't think it's just a COVID thing.
What do you think it is, Ryan? I mean, I'm just curious. What do you think is driving that?
Mike, you have thoughts?
I don't know. I mean, that was the whole.
You don't know?
Probably because like my wife wants to get a pool and I'm just against it.
You should do it.
No.
Yes, you need a pool.
No.
Cam, what do you think?
When you live on a lake, you don't need a pool.
Cam was nodding her head when we were talking about pools. What do you think?
I think you should get a pool.
I don't know. It's like, it's one of those things. If we didn't live on a lake, then I'd probably consider it even more. But we got this giant pool in our backyard already. Why do we need a second one?
Yeah, Mike, what do you think? Pools? You see, Mike says you don't get a pool, you get a jet ski.
I think everybody should just have a neighbor with a pool.
A neighbor with a pool, or a brother.
Perfect.
My brother
See,
Tim.
that's the
We're
answer.
coming to your house later.
That's the answer right there.
Yeah, we're already at the 3/4 point here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. 612-294-6949 is how you can join us really at any time throughout the show. Before the break, I did want to touch on one other listing. Kevin Curtis, my buddy Kevin, has got a nice one in Minneapolis, 3224 Pillsbury Avenue South. And he said character abounds in this classic 2.5-story Victorian home. It's got lead glass windows, hardwood floors, great front and back porches, lap siding, gorgeous millwork, large pocket doors, tall ceilings, classic foyer, a huge fenced yard, and a large 22 by 24 garage. It's 4 bedrooms and 1 bath, listed for $359,900, 3224 Pillsbury Avenue South in Minneapolis. A great listing with Kevin Curtis. And Kevin's going, by the way, he's going to the Vikings game. We'll have to talk about that here, about the Vikes and Pack playing this weekend. This, friends, is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Yeah, it is an interesting one indeed. Cam, are you a football fan?
I'm getting there. Yeah.
That's a nice way of
Cam,
saying no.
she's brutally honest.
It's Minnesota nice right
That was
now.
so polite.
My boyfriend's a big Minnesota Vikings fan. So
He is?
Yes. His debit card has the Vikings logo on it.
Is
so.
he a U.S. Bank guy?
Yeah.
That must be a default or something, because I do too. And I think when I got it, I don't even remember I picked it.
Mhm.
It just was the Vikings on the U.S. Bank debit
Yeah.
card. So, and it's an older one, so I don't know but that's a good point. You're very honest, Cam.
Well, I called this guy and told him exactly what I wanted on my credit card.
Whoa, Adam, the U.S. flag.
Nice.
Very nice. Yeah, it is. It is the big weekend, Vikings Packers. It's weird they're playing the first weekend of the year. That's Mike. What do you think about that?
Well, so the stat that I heard the other day on the radio was that the Vikings are 6-2 against the Packers in the month of September, all time.
Is there an index at all for that?
That's on the. That was from the Adam Index that they took the stats from.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's create
So if that holds true, I mean the odds are in favor that we win because it's September. So
Cam, here's what I'll tell you about your friend Adam. So part of the reason you can kind of get to know Adam over the years and why he does well in his industry, because Adam plays in our fantasy football league. And picking fantasy football winners is very much the same thing. You need to know what you're doing. You need to pick the right people and avoid the wrong folks. You need to make moves throughout the year. And this guy wins like every other year in our league. So is that a good analysis on your job?
Yeah. Hey. And outside watching the Vikings, I haven't watched the football game outside of the Vikings in a decade.
It's a long time.
I just
it's just the
look at
fantasy.
Yeah,
Is this your fantasy team?
Just look at the stats.
Yeah.
Fantasy football. Thanks for all the comments, Sean, Troy. Thank you guys and gals for watching. Well, I got the last 10 minutes of the show here. Again, we're entering into the fall season. Mike, do you expect more of a slowdown? Do you expect numbers to keep dipping down, or what do you think we'll see here?
Yeah, I mean a little bit. I think we'll still get the fall rush like we do every year, though. Like I think this fall will be a good fall, and it should be. There's a lot of FHA and VA buyers out there that didn't have a chance. You didn't have a chance the last 2 years because there's 30 offers on every house. You're competing against cash offers, conventional loan offers. Now's your chance to get in. So a lot of those people that were frustrated with the buying experience that didn't get a house, I mean, now's your shot for sure.
Right.
Sometime between now and the spring market, it's go time.
Yeah, it's good. We're going back live on air again. Twin Cities News Talk, AM 1130. Appreciate you joining us here. If you are a buyer or seller, you need help, you've got questions, don't ever hesitate to reach out to us now during the show or throughout the week. 612-294-6949. We've got an awesome agent on the Minnesota real estate team, really all across the Twin Cities, within a few hours of the Twin Cities. We'd love to help you. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Skol Vikings. Thanks, Mike Dubs. Very nice, very nice. It's the big weekend. The border battle, Vikes Packers tomorrow. Mike, are you going to the game?
Me?
Yes.
No. I thought you were talking to Mike Dubs back there. No, I won't be going to the game. More than likely, what happens at our household is we're going to be recording it and watching it later because we'll probably have too much kid stuff going on back and forth to watch it live. So I'm going to try to avoid Facebook and avoid.
How do you avoid that, though?
I'm going to avoid all that.
It's tough, but you can do it.
I'm
Like
gonna avoid all
I've
that.
done it multiple times. Yeah, I do watch the game a lot late.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same here.
Cam, you mentioned you're a huge fan. You just
Big
can't
fan.
wait.
I'm counting down the hours until I get to see those boys.
Oh yeah, Cam, you are a diehard. You're doing the face paint tomorrow. You got
Absolutely.
And that I'd like to see.
you got it. Hey, Mike Dubs, you know your football. What's your big prediction for the Vikings and Packers for tomorrow tomorrow afternoon? Wow, Vikings and not even close. What's the score? That's true. He's got Aaron Rodgers has no receivers. Score, Mike? 38-10. Oh my gosh, that would be a crazy one. Hey, before I forget, I do have one other very nice listing. Nadia Hoppy with the Minnesota real estate team has won. This one's in Eden Prairie. It is listed for $315,000. It is a 2-bed, 2-bath home at 13952 Irwin Court in Eden Prairie. And Nadia said this unit is very different from the others right from the get-go. It is a walkout to the back patio with a pond surrounded by trees, high vaulted ceilings, many windows. It generates a lot of natural light, has a kitchen window, stainless steel appliances, newer HVC water heater, Aprilaire home humidifier, a great updated driveway, in-ground sprinkler system. The 2 bedrooms on the same level with a nicely sized loft. All all must-haves, she said. Walk-in closets, spacious, full bedroom. And she said this lovely home has a great location close to Costco. That's a must, Adam.
Yeah, there you go.
Target, Kim.
Big
And,
Target fan.
and Walmart, Mike, has high-rated schools as well. 13952 Irwin Court, Eden Prairie, Minnesota, 315,000. Check that one out. Nice property. And that was just kind of random. I didn't mean to segment you
I
according
was gonna say
to.
now I'm Costco, Cam's Target, and you're Walmart. So
I buy stuff at Walmart. Got some fish and
You
tackle
do.
stuff. I got nothing against Walmart. My
No.
wife doesn't like going there, but I have no problem.
Me
I got no problem.
Oh man. Well, we got about 5, 6, 7 minutes here left for the show. And again, we do appreciate you joining us. We're missing our friend Scott, who's out today. I know he's not feeling 100%, so we hope you feel better, Scott, soon, and are back to health. But as we head to the home stretch here, Adam and Cam, thoughts for folks? I mean, it seems like in today's world, we were joking about indexes. It seems like you can read a story online and they say the stock market's going to crash by one expert. And then you read the next day another expert who just says we're going to go up 30%.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you know what to believe, or what do you do?
yeah, one of the big banks came out with a prediction, and it was a headline, and I'm trying to remember. I can't even remember which bank it was, but it was a big institution. The name everybody listening would know, and it basically said, if we don't go into recession, the market's going to go back up 30% to all-time highs. And if we go into recession, we're going to drop 30%. And I'm like, okay, well, that's quite a prediction. That's so we're either going to go up 30% or we're going to go down 30%. And this is news. But this goes back to the point. I mean, I think purely from an investment strategy standpoint, I still think that taking an active approach makes sense. There's not a lot of firms out there that will do that for you, quite frankly. I mean, even the ones that say that they're active are not really active the way that we are. So I'm not saying we're the only one, but I do think we are relatively unique. And beyond that, and more importantly, I think working with a team like ours gives you a sense of confidence that you can't have trying to just do it on your own. And I really believe that. I do think that confidence, as much as results, is what we give our clients. And one last thing, we talked about Cam and how awesome she is, and she is. But we have 3 25-year-olds on our team now. They were all 24 when we hired them, and they've all since. Well, I guess you were younger than that, but they were all 24 at the same time. They're all now 25. If you have any doubts about the next generation and you want to be reassured in the faith of humanity, I come schedule an appointment at our office and just meet our team, because
That's awesome.
All 3 of those guys are so awesome. Our team is fantastic, and I would tell you, come talk to me, but the truth is, if I'm not there, the team is just great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That is a very good statement. Mike, you as well have a fantastic team, knowing all your folks. How many total with each loan are helping out, would you say?
So, I mean, just on my team alone, not my branch, but on my team, I have four people.
Yeah.
But all highly experienced. All have very highly experienced. So, I mean, that's why we can do the volume we do and get it done on time every single time and all that stuff.
And that's so important. And again, for listeners, if you are just sick of every place you go, customer service has gotten so lousy everywhere.
Right.
Nobody cares, and you can't get anybody to actually care about you. Again, I know that's not the case when they work with you, Mike, and it is not the case when they work with Ryan's team or with us. And that's what sets us apart. And so, again, if you're just sick of everybody treating you poorly, come talk to us.
Yeah,
It is a little bit of a lost art. I was talking to Kevin Curtis yesterday, and on one of his listings, he was trying to get some feedback from the showings. It's a courtesy we as agents provide to each other. There's really nothing in it for the showing agent if your client wasn't interested, but you do it as a courtesy, in other words, to the other agent. And Kevin just commented he had called a number of agents, hadn't heard back, but there was one gal who didn't answer, but then she ended up calling him later that night and sent a nice detailed email about what her clients thought, so Kevin could provide it to his seller. And Kevin's like, that's a good agent.
Yeah.
And it's like the little things.
Yeah.
Sometimes people say, hey, how do I succeed in real estate? That's how you succeed. It's that over and over and over. And again, just not Customer service is a lost art.
I was teaching a sales seminar one time, and I told everybody how important it is. Everybody talks about how important it is for people to believe that you care about them. And somebody said, well, how do you get somebody to believe you care about them? I said, it's easy. You actually care about them.
Right? I mean,
Hey, before I forget and we wrap up, I do have to share this real quick. So State Fair, went to the State Fair. We're walking around all over. So again, I originally met Adam Hartung because he managed a Cutco operation. Cutco, wonderful cutlery. I mean, it's fantastic stuff. Adam, by the way, was like the king of the kings. He was like the top salesman in the United States. They'd like fly him around.
Actually, in the world.
Yeah. Well, so anyway, we went up to the booth, and it was more of a courtesy, just kind of a courtesy. Hey, just boy, I sold Cutco for like 3 summers. Just kind of chatting a little bit. My mom and I, and oh hey, do you know Adam Hartung, and all these, and man, it was like I was back in my Cutco closing. I kind of politely said, hey, really appreciate it. Thanks. It's a great product. I sold it forever. She's like, well, you need you need to update. You need da 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 da. And so I gave her another very polite Ryan-esque kind of no, and she dropped down to, well, no, but here's the vegetable. She goes on to the 15 things, and I gave her another no. Just like, Adam, she wouldn't let me go.
Yeah, well,
Dude.
I'm actually surprised you didn't buy something.
No.
Because I know you.
I know, kind of out of a sympathy purchase.
Exactly.
yeah, Adam's like,
Yes.
he's going to fold any second here.
Yes.
Yep, I can see it coming.
You do know me. Cam, last thoughts for today. What do you think? Last thoughts before we head home.
Honestly, mostly just thanks for having us on the show today.
Yeah, great to have you. Do an awesome job. We want you to come onto the show more.
Perfect. I can do that.
Yeah, we want Cam more. Adam, last thoughts. Thanks for today.
Just to say happy birthday to Danielle, whose birthday was last night. She may be up by now. I'm not sure, but if she's listening, happy birthday. We had a great time last night.
Very, very nice. Mike, last thoughts for listeners with the market, mortgages moving forward.
Well, when you have experts saying completely opposite of each other, one, this is going to go up, no, that's going to go down, this and that, it just proves that no one can accurately predict the future. So we do the best we can to look at the past. A lot of times the past or history will repeat itself, but that's not always the case. So we do the best we can to just help advise our clients, give the information, let them decide which route they want to go.
Yep, absolutely.
Great stuff. I can't encourage you enough to reach out as well. Applywithmike.com is how you can reach Mike and his team during the week, evenings, weekends. We always like to affectionately call him the hardest working man in mortgage. He is always on. So please don't hesitate to reach out to him. There's a reason we work with Mike Overson, Hudson Murphy, and their team at Luminate Home Loans. This has been a fun show. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. mnrealestateshow.com, 612-294-6949. If we can help you in any way, buying, selling, investing in real estate, don't hesitate to reach out to the Minnesota Real Estate team. Have a great weekend. Thanks, everybody. Fun show. Cam, great job on your big debut today.
Yeah, thank you.
Well done, Adam and Mike. Nice job, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks,
Have
Ryan.
a great
Appreciate
weekend,
it.
everybody.
All right, we'll see you guys next weekend. We'll be back. Take care. Go Vikes. See you later.